Welcome everyone. Today we have a Paimon shop guide for the new reset for February. So this is the start of month of February, and yes, you can see over here we have Bidu and also Noelle. So those are the two characters that are the 4 stars we can purchase in the Star Glinted shop. We can also see the Royal series of weapons. We'll briefly go through Bidu and also Noelle and also the weapons. And also this is really good news. We have predicted Bidu and also Noelle in the previous video, and this means the information or the data mine information we had is also relevant. That means a lot of more things we can look towards with more reliable information. Now unfortunately we do not get any new information, so what I was looking for is the new information on the next banner. For the shell banner we don't see that, but we'll be seeing this very soon. And similarly, what I'm looking for is new update of information of the new patch. This is the reset of the Asian server. I think in a few hours I'll be refreshing first, we'll be seeing more information. So currently we do not see any new information for now. So over here, this is what I meant by the previous video. You can see that the new Paimon shop we talked about in the previous video was Bidu and also Noelle, and those were predicted correctly. If you also want to see some of the other predictions, we also predicted the weapon banner and also the character banner, and those were using similar information from this particular video. So those information can be correct. And if you do want to have a look, do come back to this information, because there's a lot of things that was predicted that was proven to be correct, even Kaching in the banner. So really happy to see that this is a correct prediction, and I'll be using this particular source to provide us with more information with patch 1.3 and also patch 1.2. There's patch 1.4. So there's a lot of great information to come. Very excited to see that this is actually proven correct in the previous video. So right away, some of the best purchases in the game are gonna be the Primal Gems. Some of the best purchases are gonna be the free wishes from the Stardust. Now there's also other things you can purchase from the Stardust. If you're really short on Mora, you can consider this one. This is what I purchased last time if I'm really short on Mora. But everything else, I don't think they're really worth it because they're quite standard and they're not the best value. Now coming over to the Start Glinted exchange, let's have a look at Bidu and also Noelle. Why should you go for the higher constellations for those characters? So coming over here, I have prepared a number of the characters for the constellations and different passives and also talents. For Noelle, the biggest reason to go to Constellation 6 or go for higher constellations is going to be for her particular passive for Constellation 6. Now once we get Noelle to Constellation 6, we can benefit from having increased attack as 50% additional of her defense. This is quite powerful, and just let me show you guys in the game as well. Noelle can be built as a DPS carry, and she can be very powerful if you give her a defensive weapon like the White Blind, which I'm trying to build her, and also her constellations does make her very powerful. You can see that I have already gotten Constellation 6 of Noelle, and what that means is a lot of her defense will be converting to attack, and she's going to be a special defense character. Similarly, her items can also be used for a battle if you have him, so those are interchangeable. So I think Constellation 6 Noelle, if you do like a Geo DPS character, and with the presumed Geo buffs that will be coming with Zonli today, so we're waiting for the confirmation of Zonli's buffs, that will make Geo characters very powerful. So Zonli plus Noelle is definitely doable. Now other than going for Constellation 6, one of the biggest boosts for Noelle is for Constellation 4. If you get her to Constellation 4, it will increase a bit of damage with her Geo shield. Notice the damage will also be amplified if you cast her ultimate and then pop the shield to deal additional damage. And I think Constellation 4 and Constellation 6 are the biggest boost for Noelle. Of course, with Constellation 5, she also gains higher skill point with her ultimate, which is actually a must-have for her, because she converts her damage into Geo damage. Also, she gains bonus attack on 40% defense. And then this becomes 50% more with Constellation 6. Now if we come over to Bidu, she is quite an interesting character. She is defensive and offensive. She can have the particular press and also hold with her electro shield. She can also reflect and retaliate damage depending on the damage she takes. And it's about 7.5 second cooldown. It's quite flexible. Bidu's particular constellations and her passives allows her to do additional electro damage. So we can see that with Constellation 4, this is when she can deal more electro damage. And basically after taking damage, her normal attack will gain 20% electro damage. And Constellation 6 allows her to reduce the enemy's resistance by 15%. So she is a particular electro character that builds with high electro damage. At the same time, her shield, which allows her to reflect damage, is very powerful defensively and offensively, because when she's about to take damage, she can ignore the damage by triggering her shield, by holding on her shield that is, so basically she reflects the damage. And afterwards she will be protected by electro shield, and the shield is based on her maximum HP. Now, having a shield character is really good with the latest boss fights, and we'll talk about this more in details with the next few videos. Because the boss will deal different elemental damage, if you're protected by a shield, you can reflect this damage and deal additional damage to the boss. This is very similar to having Noelle as well, who also provide us with a Geo shield. Notice they're giving us 2 characters in the Paimon shop with a shield, because fighting the patch 1.3 boss, you will need a shielding character. Whether it's Noelle with Geo Shield, or Bidu, Diana, Xingyan, you really want a shielding character. Because if we come over here to the live stream, you can see different bosses have different elements. This one I believe is Hydro, and this one is Pyro. If you match your shielding character against those boss, what that's going to do is, you're going to reflect and retaliate additional damage when the boss casts his elemental damage. Notice that he cast the fire, you will be able to reflect those damage. If you do not have a shielding character, or if you do not match the elemental shield, you don't have to match them, but it's really nice to deal more damage. So it's important to have a shielding character for patch 1.3, and that's why they're giving us some of the shielding support in the game, and also some of the shielding DPS. Now coming over to the Royal series of weapons, we can see that this time it's going to be the Royal series. Now let's briefly have a look at this particular series. This particular series will increase our sub-secondary stats as attack percentage, and it also has the particular special effect as focus. So basically, we'll be dealing damage to enemy. Each time we deal damage to the enemy, we'll be increasing our critical rate by 8%, maximum 5 stacks. This does get reset if we do land a critical rate. So what we're looking at is about 8% to 16% increased critical rate if you don't crit in the next 2 attacks. But as you don't crit, the next attack will have higher critical rate. The effectiveness of this critical chance is definitely not 40%. Now it can be about, it can be less than 8% if you have a really high critical rate, because if you're already critting, this effect won't work much. This is more beneficial for those that does not have the higher critical rate. But the special part is about attack percentage. If you do have a character with very high base attack, you can consider this weapon, and we have talked about this in our previous Shao video. So this is one of the above average weapons for Shao. It increased critical rate, well, it's a special effect for critical rate, but it also increased attack percentage. The base attack is quite decent on the polearm. So for the attack percentage, Shao have the highest base attack in the game, and this really helps for him to deal more damage with attack percent, critical rate, and also critical damage. There isn't that much to look into with the Royal series unless you don't have enough critical rate, or if you really want to go for triple of them, this can be effective. Because as you get more of them, the passive will be higher, and this can potentially make the weapon stronger for different characters. Now, I wouldn't say the Royal series is going to be the strongest series of weapons, because if we compare the Royal series, which are over here, we also have the Black Cliff series, which is previously on the Paimon banner. So the Black Cliff series actually increased critical damage, and they also increase the attack by defeating enemies. Those are very situational series, but I do think the Royal series can be strong if we're lacking the critical chances. So basically with the Paimon shop, they're rotating Royal series and also the Black Cliff series. Each month they will rotate between them, and depending on what item you think the best, we can start to save those. We can buy a maximum of 3 of those weapons every month, and those can be really helpful if you do plan to go for Shao and if you do not have any special weapons. If you want more tips on the 4-star weapons for Shao, we do have a previous video as a guide for that. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips, and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with Genshin and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.